Let's have a look at the starting lineup for today's race. The San Bernardino County 200 will have Kyle Rowdy Busch and Johnny Benson on the front row. The defending champ of the series, Benson. Ricky Carmichael, the motocross ace, well, former series champ Ron Hornaday, and on back. Just look at the diversity of driving backgrounds and levels of experience that you see throughout this field. Gabby DiCarlo, the 12th female driver ever to compete in this series. She comes out of the ARCA series from Phoenix. So Darrell, let's get ready to race here.
I can hear it.
DW up in the Fox Sports booth, buddy. Got a copy.
I should be safe. Hey, DW, what's going on, man? I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, sounds like you're in good spirits today. How's the truck? And you got a great view from the front. Can you keep that 51 with you and keep him in sight?
Well, it's probably going to be more of the fact if I can stay with him. But yeah, I think we got a good Tundra for today, so I'm looking forward to it. Like you see, I got a pretty nice view right now, but we'll see how the start goes and see how the day plays out. But Trip Bruce and the guys here at Red Horse Racing did a tremendous job, so we're excited about it, I can tell you that.
All right, JB, have a great run, buddy. We'll be watching, and you better get up on the wheel to keep up with that old 51. 10-4?
Yeah, 10-4. I know it. But thanks, DW. We'll see you in a little bit.
Let's take a look at it. As I mentioned, 200 miles, 100 laps around this 2-mile racetrack. Pit road speed, 55 miles per hour. The pit window for Sunoco Race Field somewhere around 40 to 42 laps. A rule that we deal with in the Camping World Truck Series that we don't deal with in the Sprint Cup Series. These teams only had 4 sets of tires to work with for the weekend. Most of them used one setup in practice, so including the set they're starting to race on, 3 sets of tires for this 100-lap race.
And this rule, like the maximum 5 crew members over the wall or the 12 credentialed crew members allowed at the track each weekend, are all cost containment rules, trying to ensure full competitive fields for the races in this series. Let's go down to pit road, beginning with Matt Yoakum.
Mike, last fall, Californian Ron Hornaday Jr. lost an epic championship battle to eventual champ Johnny Benson Jr. by a mere 7 points. He returns in 09 with renewed motivation and enthusiasm, going for that record 4th title. His truck, he had mixed reviews in practice. The truck was actually very fast in qualifying, sits on the outside of row 2. But Chris Devoda, what has him jacked up more than anything is his new role of professor to his young but legendary teammate.
And Matt, that teammate, we talk a lot about him. He's not just a Supercross superstar. He is the sport. He is the Dale Earnhardt Jr. of motorcycles. You go to a Supercross or a motocross event, and his autograph line wraps around the entire paddock area. A lot of these folks who are in his pit, they are just hoping to catch a glimpse of their GOAT, greatest of all time. His team members, they caught a little glimpse of that. Ricky Carmichael took some team members out to dinner Wednesday night. Everyone in the restaurant wanted to talk to him. He may be from Tallahassee, Florida, but today he is racing in the motocross mecca. To Dick Berggren.
Well, the veteran drivers are headed up today by 50-year-old Rick Crawford. He makes his 299th start at the track today. That's more than any other driver. His crew chief, Cowboy Starlin, been around this sport since before this track was built. The truck, number 14, so old they brought a defibrillator to the racetrack in case it didn't start on its own. Crawford, number 14, starts 9th.
Leave it to Dick Berggren to know about defibrillators.
That's a great line, Dick.
That is. Now, one thing we do need to mention, the Camping World Truck Series, they have the same engine rules as well, and TJ Bell in the 11 truck qualified 21st. They had to change that engine. They will have to start this race at the rear of the field.
Well, these guys, Mike, they have a reputation. They have a saying that they don't play nice. And again, the trucks are so fun to drive that these guys will take a lot of chances and do things that we may not see Cup drivers do.
Look how tall these trucks are compared to the Sprint Cup cars. Darrell, how aero-dependent are they?
Well, you know what? People say these things must be tail-happy and really loose. They're not. That rear blade on this thing is huge, and that bed on the back with it covered creates a ton, or a half ton in this case, of downforce.
These, the stock versions of these are called half-ton pickups.
Half tons.
And I'm going to tell you what, these trucks are fastest at this 2-mile racetrack, and the draft will play a huge role. When you think about it, Colin Brown sat on the pole at Daytona last week at 177.4 miles per hour. Kyle Busch is on the pole here, half-mile less racetrack and a lot less banking at over 174 miles per hour.
Kyle Busch. In the Cup Series, we call him Wild Thing. Here, his self-anointed nickname is Rowdy, after Rowdy Burns in the movie Days of Thunder, and on the roof of his truck it says Rowdy Busch. And he is the man to beat today, as he is most days when he takes to the track. 100 laps, 200 miles, and the San Bernardino County 200 is underway.
I just got to tell you, I'm betting Larry. I said, Larry, that 51 truck will be coming across the start-finish line when the rest of them are coming off turn 4.
And there's a good chance he may be coming on the apron, because he will run on the apron here, no out of bounds like at Daytona last week.
3 wide off turn 2.
And
no surprise, big wide racetrack.
Yeah, and the reason we say that is because his qualifying speed was a lot faster than anybody else's. We know how he likes to get after it, so he's got it on go, man.
3.5 tenths faster than Johnny Benson, 1.5 miles an hour faster in qualifying.
And to no surprise, Kyle Busch will lead the first lap from Ron Hornaday and Colin Brown.
You know, we talked to Johnny Benson there. The pace lap started on the outside of the front row. He's already fallen back to 6th in just 1 lap.
I may ought to call him back up and ask him what the heck.
Matt Crafton, that bright yellow truck with the green hood, side by side with the 20-year-old Colin Brown.
But that's the beautiful thing about this series, Mike. It's a great opportunity for young drivers to come in and be competitive, to be able to race up front. It's also an opportunity for drivers like Ron Hornaday, who's much older, 50 years old, and able to compete in this series as well. So you have the beginning and the ending of careers.
Guys, a truck I'm watching, Mike Bliss in his 40 truck. Now, he won and sat on the pole and won the race here in 1997. He started back in the 14th position. He's already cracked the top 10, and he's doing it on the high side of the racetrack. Look at it. Look how much you can carry the momentum. Remember, these trucks run that tapered spacer that takes about 80 horsepower away, like in the Nationwide Series. You got to keep them wound up, because they actually got a pretty high gear in them, too.
Yeah, and the guy that gets up high like he's doing right now first is going to pass a lot of trucks. That's kind of like no man's land. But if your truck will work up there, you can really get by a lot of people, because everybody fights for the bottom normally.
One truck on pit road, that's West Coast driver Lance Hooper with the hood up. 36 trucks started this race, a smaller field than they use in NASCAR's other 2 national series.
Guys, I'm going to tell you, though, they've got their work cut out for them to catch that 51 truck. Kyle Busch just ran a 41.71. Ron Hornaday in the 33 truck just ran a 42.45, 3/4 of a second slower than the leader of this race.
That's how you make those pit rules work for you. You just get way out there. You come in one time, get tires, come in next time, get fuel, and never lose a lead.
You know, in the pre-race, we just saw Matt Crafton in the 88 truck there. In the pre-race, Phil Parsons felt like that Terry Cook was going to be a truck to watch. I tell you, I like Matt Crafton in that 88 truck, because that's a full-blown Kevin Harvick Incorporated car. He had a great run at Daytona. I think he's the guy really fixing to break out in this series.
Well, I agree with you, Larry, but I also believe that Johnny Benson, looks like Johnny Benson had a little problem on the start here, but he'll be a factor for it's over with.
Crafton takes second from Ron Hornaday. The 30 truck is Todd Bodine, the Daytona winner. And Bodine closing in. Look at the back of Hornaday's truck dance around, getting down into the corner.
Boy, and Bodine, he just went around on the outside there. Nice pass. Moves into 3rd place. Todd is, he won Daytona last week, so we know that's a fast truck.
I believe Todd has an awfully good truck, and of course that's our 2007 Truck Series champion. And when you look at the fact of the streak he's been on, including that win in Daytona, he's had top 5 finishes in the last Camping World Truck Series races, going all the way back to the fall of last year.
such a good little operation there with the Hillmans, senior and junior, and it's a great operation.
Mark Mitchell brings his truck to pit road as Rowdy Bush has opened up a nearly 4-second lead on Todd Bodine and Matt Crafton.